Atlantic Broadband Cable, in cooperation with the South Union Township Supervisors, presents the South Union Township Sports Network. Today, via tape delay from the Terry Mulholland Field here in Hutchinson, it's Pony League baseball time as the HARC Reds meet the Cubs. Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Morozak with Jerry Dupay, and we welcome you aboard for today's game. South Union Township Sports Network coverage is brought to you as a joint cooperative venture featuring Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott, Atlantic Broadband Cable, Armstrong Cable, and our friends at CUTV, including Gary Smith. Again, I'm Brian Morozak with Jerry Dupay, and we'll be back with the first pitch after this message.
Creditors calling you day and night? Your debt overwhelms you? Although you may feel that you're in a hopeless situation, Zebley, Mahalev & White can help. We're a full-service local bankruptcy firm that knows what a difficult time this is and what to do to help you get a fresh start. Call Zebley, Mahalev & White today for a free consultation. Your hometown bankruptcy firm. Call us today.
Don't borrow more money until you talk to Zebley, Mahalev & White.
We're back here at the Mulholland Pony League field for the Reds and the Cubs, two HARC teams that have had great regular seasons so far. The Reds 11-1, coached by Buddy Mara. The Cubs, coached by Jason Burchick, entering play today with a 10-2 record. So we expect a very competitive game. The Reds consider the visiting team. They'll bat here in the top half of the first inning. Caleb Scott will lead things off. He's pitching for the Reds today. Santino Mara batting second and playing shortstop. Tyler Becker batting third. He's the second baseman. Justin Brzezinski in the cleanup spot and catching, batting fourth. Batting fifth, number 9, Nick Egnott. Egnott playing first base. Batting sixth down in center field, Logan Lonegro, number 4. Batting seventh in left field, wearing number 10, Ben Blystone. Batting eighth in right field, number 8, Tanner Slavic. And batting ninth and playing third base, Caden Early. No number on Early. He's wearing a great jersey. He's a call-up for the Reds here today. The Cubs defensively will have Colby Livingston out in the left, Christian Burchick in center field, and out in right field for the odd innings will be Nick Beimel. For the even innings, it will be Wyatt Bittinger. Around the horn, it's Joey Chisler at third, Jace Capolini at short, Evan McClay playing second base, and Steve Ross playing first. Tyler Christopher on the mound, and Noah Mildren catching for the Cubs today. And the lefty Christopher looking in. Caleb Scott to lead things off for the Reds. First pitch of the game, high and inside for ball one. Seen a lot of Caleb Scott over the years. Terrific athlete for the Reds. And that rolled ball 2 to Caleb Scott. We'll see Caleb on the mound here today, opposing Tyler Christopher. 2-0 on the way. Scott swing and a miss. Count now at 2-1. That one catching Scott. One hopping. Off a pitch that had plenty of velocity on it from Christopher. Scott a little hobbled, but he's all right, making his way down to first. So the Reds getting a base runner in Scott. You can tell he's still in a little bit of pain down at first. A lot of velocity on those pitches from Christopher. Now Santino Mara coming to the plate. He'll take the first pitch inside for ball 1. Mara, plenty of pop in his bat. Look out when he's at the plate. That pitch in there for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. See how aggressive they are with Scott on the base paths. Being a little hobbled, another pitch inside. Missing there to Mara, count at 2-1. Chuck Pillar calling the balls and strikes in this game. Bernie Maniac on the bases. 2-1 now to Mara. Pitch was a little bit inside. Santino went a chasing. Able to get a piece of it and fouling it off. Even the count at 2-2. Santino played for the Angels Little League team last year. Had plenty of success throughout the regular season. And swings here and sends this pitch from Christopher into center field. So Scott getting aboard, getting hit by a pitch. Mara following that up with a single to center. And the Reds with 2 runners on and nobody else. And Tyler Becker coming to the plate. Becker, the Reds' second baseman. Trying to keep things going with the lights on here at the Mulholland Field. The first pitch high to Tyler Becker. Brian Mrozak alongside Jerry Dupé. Nice to have you along with us here on the South Union Township Sports Network. Whether you're watching on Atlantic Broadband Cable, Armstrong Cable, or on YouTube. Strike in there, but the throw down to third. Scott safe. Barely underneath the tag. That was close down at third. Morrow makes his way down to second. Now runners on second and third. Next pitch to Becker in there for strike 2. Now 1-2. Tyler Christopher to Tyler Becker. Runners now on second and third. And a ground ball from Becker getting past. Joey Chisler in the left field will score a pair of runs. Both Scott and Mara scoring on the play. And the Reds taking an early 2-0 lead. So Becker delivering. Heading into past Chisler at third and a left fielder, Colby Livingston, had to come on to play the ball. Now Justin Brzezinski at the plate. He lines the first pitch foul on the left side. Becker makes his way past and back to first. Now the 0-1, a line drive shot through in between Capolini and Chisler in the left field. Becker's going to hold up at second. And the Reds tagging the Cubs here in the top half of the first inning. 3 straight hits for Mara, Becker, and Brzezinski, following up Scott, who was hit by a pitch. Now Nick Egnath, the 5th Red to come to the plate. Here in the top half of the first. First pitch misses outside for ball 1, throw down to third, not in time. Stolen base there for Tyler Becker. Nick Egnath trying to keep things going here for the Reds. Swings and misses there. Good cut, though, from Egnath. Count at 1-1. Egnath, plenty of pop in his bat as well. 1-1 pitch, check swing. Did not go around. Count at 2-1. Christopher to Egnath. Still nobody out as we work here in the top half of the first inning. 2 runs already across for the Reds. That pitch high. Now 3-1. Christopher to Egnath. Three-one pitch, and Egnath sends this one into left field, and unable to come up with it there is Colby Livingston. Scoring on the play, Tyler Becker. I think you have to put that in the books as an E7, one Livingston should have had out there in left field. And still nobody out, 3 runs across. And Logan Lonegro now at the plate. Egnath on the move, no throw down to second. Reds trying to blow this game open here in the top half of the first inning. Now runners on second and third, still nobody out and 3 runs already across. Swing and a miss there from Lonegro. And they count at 0-2. Cubs trying to find a way to record an out. Staying alive, there is Lonegro fouling it off. Count remains 0-2. Next pitch off the plate. Count now 1-2. Christopher to Lonegro. Next pitch inside. Count out 2-2. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So an out recorded from the Cubs defensively. Christopher striking out Lonegro. Now one away here in the top half of the first, and Ben Blystone will be the 7th Red to come to the plate here in this top half of the first inning. Blystone playing left field here today. Another big guy for the Reds. First pitch there getting away from the catcher Noah Mildren. Nick Egnott now down at third. Check that, Nick Egnott now down at second. Justin Brzezinski now down at third. One out here in the inning. Ben Blystone trying to drive in a few more runs here for the Reds, and he's hit by a pitch. That'll load the bases. And Tanner Slavic will come to the plate. He's the 8th Red to bat now here in the top half of the first. First pitch to Slavic, swing and a miss, strike 1. There's strike 2. Now Christopher will try to finish off Slavic for the second out of the inning. With a call up, Caden Early in the on-deck circle. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Some big pitches there from Tyler Christopher to retire Tanner Slavic. Now 2 away with Caden Early coming to the plate. Early just wearing the swoosh jersey. As a call up. I'll take the first pitch for strike 1. Bases loaded here for Early. And Early, a ground ball to first. Should be routine. Stepping on the bag for the third out of the inning, Steve Ross. 3 unassisted. The 3 runs score for the Reds. We'll head to the bottom of the first here on the South Union Township Sports Network.
Esophageal reflux affects 20% of Americans and can lead to heartburn, regurgitation, chest pain, and difficulty swallowing. Reflux is caused by stomach contents passing a faulty valve and entering the esophagus. Ulcers and precancerous tissue can then form. Doctors Ruthart, Calabrese, Stokes, and Ballou offer the latest testing and treatment for reflux disease. SWGI, specialists in digestive health.
The Cubs trying to bounce back after they yielded 3 runs in the top half of the first inning. Let's set their lineup. Leading off and catching Noah Mildren. Batting second and playing second base, Evan McClay. Steve Ross batting third. He's the first baseman. Chase Capolini in the cleanup spot playing shortstop. Tyler Christopher batting fifth and pitching. Christian Burchick batting sixth and playing in center field. Colby Livingston batting seventh in left field. It's Joey Chisler batting eighth. He's playing third base. Nick Beimel batting seventh. He's either going to be in right field or DHing. And Wyatt Bittinger rounding out the lineup batting 10th. And like Beimel, he's rotating between the right field position and the DH position tonight. Defensively for the Reds, it's Ben Blystone out in left, Logan Lonegro in center, and Tanner Slavic in right. Around the horn, Caden Early, the call-up, playing third. Santino Mara playing short. Tyler Becker playing second, and Nick Egnott playing first. Caleb Scott on the mound, and Justin Brzezinski catching for the Reds here today. We mentioned early the call-up. The umpire is talking to Buddy Mara about Early's jersey out there. I think the Cubs gave permission to allow Early to wear that jersey the rest of the way, and we could play on. Maybe not. Still some discussion going on here. As Jason Burchick, manager of the Cubs, talking to home plate umpire Chuck Pillar. Now Pillar says play on, and we'll do just that with Noah Mildren leading things out for the Cubs here in the bottom half of the first inning. Facing Caleb Scott, and Scott's first pitch. Low for ball one. Of course, Scott got nicked up a little bit, getting hit by a pitch from Tyler Christopher back in the first inning. Seems all right now. 1-0 here, fouled off by Mildren. Evens the count at 1-1, and don't be surprised before this game wraps up, we might see Noah Mildren on the mound at some point for the Cubs. 1-1 pitch. Mildren rips this one foul on the right side. Count now at 1-2. And the Cubs entering play today with a 10-2 record. And the Reds at 11-1, so we expected this one to be very competitive here today. The two top pony teams out of the HARC League. 1-2 pitch, ground ball here, hit to second. Trying to make the play himself, but not getting to the bag in time as Tyler Becker. Nick Egnott moved off to his right to initially try to pick up that ground ball. A miscommunication there between Becker and Egnott results in an infield single for Noah Mildren. And the Cubs will begin their quest to try to answer the 3 spot the Reds put on the board in the top half of the first inning. Now Evan McLay, the second baseman, will come to the plate. Things certainly cooling off here. The sun set high. Throw over to first, but gloved down there by Egnott. Egnott, plenty of size on him. Extends the margin of error a little bit over at first base on some of the throwovers from Scott. On the first pitch here to McLay, and McLay with a little shot here to right center field will drop in front of Logan Lonegro. And just as the Reds did in the top half of the first inning, the Cubs getting their first 2 hitters on board. Mildred an infield single, and McLay a single to center field. Now Steve Ross coming to the plate. Plenty of size on Steve. First pitch from Scott. Ross swinging and a strike 1. Count it 0-1. Now Scott's 0-1 on the way. It's one high. Count it 2-0. On the way, and that one went off the mask, I believe, of Justin Brzezinski, the catcher. He's all right. Chuck Pillar clears off the home plate. And the count at 1-2. Scott's 1-2 pitch in there for strike 3. A nice bounce back there from Scott, retiring Ross on the backwards K, and now 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. Reds leading at 3-0, with the Cubs threatening a little bit here with runners on first and second, and Jace Capolini coming to the plate. Capolini, the shortstop here today. First pitch to Jason there for a strike, 0-1. And Scott looking good on the mound. Caleb Long looking here. 0-1 to Jace Cappellini. This is off the plate. 1-1, of course. Caleb, the son of one of our 3 South Union Township supervisors, Jason Scott. Jason does such a great job with all these HARC leagues, keeping them going. That pitch getting away from catcher Justin Brzezinski, runners advancing. Evan McLay down to second. Noah Mildren down to third. And the count at 2-1 to Jace Cappellini. Tyler Christopher in the on-deck circle. 2-1 is low. Now the count of 3-1. Scott again taking his time. From the stretch, 3-1 pitch. Off the plate for ball 4. That'll load up the bases for the Cubs. With 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning, and Tyler Christopher coming to the plate. Christopher, the Cubs pitcher here today. Coming up here in a big spot, facing Caleb Scott. First pitch to Christopher, and there for a strike, counted 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. This one chopped foul. Counted 0-2. And the 0-2 to Christopher in the dirt. A nice bounce back to the catcher Brzezinski. Gone out 1-2. Pitch low again. Evens the count now at 2-2. Of course, for Scott, nowhere to put Tyler Christopher with the bases loaded. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Some good pitching there from Caleb Scott to record the second out of the inning with the bases loaded. And now Christian Burchick will come to the plate. He's the 6th Cub to bat here in this bottom half of the first inning. The Cubs have yet to score a run. First pitch to Burchick. Misses for ball 1. Now the 1-0. Low again. 2-0 now. Caleb Scott to Christian Burchick. And this ball roped into left field. It'll go all the way back to the wall. It should clear the bases. 2 runs already across. Here's Cappellini. He'll score as well. And this game knotted up at 3. A 3 RBI double for Christian Burchick. And we're tied at 3 with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first inning. Now Colby Livingston will be the 7th Cub to bat here in this half inning. He'll take ball 1 from Caleb Scott, without Christian Burchick on second. This game early on, living up to the billing we had coming in with the Cubs at 10-2 and the Reds at 11-1. The battle for supremacy in the HARC Pony League. Next pitch to Livingston. Ruled a strike, throw down to third, ruled safe. Nice effort there from Caden Early, attempting to make the tag there on Burchick. But Burchick ruled safe. He's now at third. Livingston at the plate, 2 outs in the inning. This game now knotted up at 3. The next pitch, swing and a miss. And the count now 1-2. Scott to Livingston. The 1-2 pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. But the Cubs pick up 3 runs. And the Cubs and the Reds knotted up at 3 after 1, heading to the top half of the second here on the South Union Township Sports Network.
The South Union Township Supervisors, Rick Vernon, Jason Scott, and Robert Schiffbauer would like to wish all the HARC baseball players good luck and have a fun baseball season this year.
The Reds batted around in the top half of the first inning, scoring 3 runs. They'll try to keep things going here in the top half of the second inning for the second straight inning, Caleb Scott leading things off for the Reds. Scott was hit by a pitch and scored a run back in the first inning. Christopher's first pitch here to Scott fouled off on the right side. Counted 0-1. Now the 0-1 on the way, and Scott sends it foul on the left side. Count now at 0-2. So Scott will have to protect the plate here. Christopher's 0-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss from Scott. Got away from the catcher Mildred, who makes the throw down to first in time. To Steve Ross, but goes in the books as a strikeout of Caleb Scott. And 1 away here in the top half of the second inning. Now Santino Mara will come to the plate. Mara with a single to center field and scored a run back in the first inning. He'll dig himself in. First pitch from Christopher. Just off the plate for ball 1. Misses outside. On 2-0. Christopher to Mara. The Cubs defensively moving Wyatt Bittinger back more in right field because of Mara's potential power. Mara's taken the first 3 pitches now for balls, and the count at 3-0. A 3-0 on the way. Mara hard ground ball right up the middle in a center field. Another hit for Santino Mara, his second single to center field. And the Reds in business with 1 out here in the top half of the second inning, and this game tied at 3. Tyler Becker now coming to the plate. Becker with a single to right field. Picked up 2 RBIs and scored a run back in the first inning. And coming to the plate here with Mara on first. Christopher will check Mara. Head first slide. Mara safe at first. Now Mara calls time. Mara, plenty of speed. Look for him to go here, and he's on the way. And this ball, a line drive, could be to glove down at second base, and they'll double up Mara at first. Strong defensive play there from Evan McLay, who gloved down the line drive, sent it over to Steve Ross to double up Mara at first. Becker retired on the out. Mara doubled up, and the Reds unable to pick up a run here in the top half of the second inning. We'll head to the bottom of the second, with this game still tied at 3 here on the South Union Township Sports Network. Joey Chisler, Nick Beimel, and Wyatt Bittinger, 2 up for the Cubs here in the bottom half of the second inning. This game tied up at 3 between the Reds and the Cubs. Both teams picking up 3 runs in the first inning. First at-bat of the game for Chisler, who's playing third base today for the Cubs. Time was called by our home plate umpire, Chuck Pillar. Not sure what's going on down there. Now the pitcher, Caleb Scott, making a run over on the right side. Apparently some lights left on in a van. Scott doing it himself. Said, hey. No one else is going to turn him off. I will. Does just that. And we can play baseball. And Scott's first pitch to Chisler inside for ball 1. Of course, with the sun pretty much set at this point, lights in the background can sometimes play havoc. Count now 2-0. Scott to Chisler. And Chisler with a high chopper here. Glove down by Early. Throw over to first. Goes wide of Nick Egnott. And there's Chisler on his horse down to second. And Chisler showing some hustle. Getting down to second base. Got to give him an infield single. Reaching second on the wide throw. And the Cubs with a runner in scoring position and nobody out here in the bottom half of the second inning. I think Beimel coming to the plate. First pitch to Beimel inside for ball 1. Looking at these teams, the Cubs seem to be pretty balanced throughout their lineup. The Reds pretty top heavy. And we'll see how things play out throughout the course of this game. Here's a little check swing, but dropping in front of Tanner Slavic out there and right. A hit from Nick Beimel. But runners on the corners for the Cubs with nobody else here in the bottom half of the second inning. Now Wyatt Bittinger coming to the plate. And Bittinger and Beimel rotating in both the right field and DH positions throughout the course of the game. Cubs batting 10 here today. The Reds only 9 players dressed, and one of the 9 a call-up in Caden Early. Now Bittinger to step in. First pitch from Scott, high for ball 1 to Bittinger. Now the 1-0, runner on the move. Mara cuts off the throw. Seeing if the Cubs were a little tempted there and maybe sending Chisler home, but Beimel into second. Now runners on second and third, still nobody else. Next pitch to Bittinger in there for a strike. Got now 1-2. Scott to Bittinger. 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So a much needed out for Caleb Scott and the Reds. Scott already picking up his 4th strikeout. All 4 outs recorded by the Reds defensively have been via the strikeout. And now the top of the order, Noah Mildren coming to the plate. Mildren, an infield single back in the first, swings of the first pitch here, sends it in a right field, and that will drop in front of Tanner Slavic. This will score a run on the play as Chisler comes around. And the Cubs take a 4-3 lead. RBI single to right for Noah Mildren. Nick Beimel down to second. Still 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning, and Evan McClay coming to the plate. Nicolay had a single to center field back in the first inning. First pitch to Nicolay, inside for ball one. And good job to block it there was Justin Brzezinski, the catcher. Beimel and Mildren holding at second and first, respectively. One-0 here to Nicolay, swing and a miss, evens the count at 1-1. And the 1-1 lows. The count now moves to 2-1. Hard ground ball here, hit to second. Reds getting the out at second base. Throw to first, not in time. Becker sent it over to Mara. Goes in the books as a fielder's choice 4-6 to retire. Noah Mildren. Nick Beimel now down to third. And Evan McLay's on first. Now 2 outs here in the inning. 1 run already across here in the bottom half of the second inning. Now Steve Ross, the 6th Cub, to bat in this half inning. Now time called. Some signs now being flashed by Justin Brzezinski. That was a lot of action out there from Justin. Hopefully everybody understood what he said. Touching all over the place. I don't know if Caleb Scott understood. Now Brzezinski clears the plate. Ross struck out looking back in the first inning. First pitch misses here for ball one. Now the 1-0, swing and a miss, evens the count at 1-1. Swing and a miss, now 2 strikes on Steve Ross. One-two pitch, breaking ball misses outside. Count now even at 2-2. And the 2-2 fouled off on the right side into the parking lot. Count remains 2-2 as we work here with 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning, Cubs now ahead of the Reds 4-3. Next pitch outside. Now the count full here to Steve Ross. That pitch outside for ball 4. That'll load the bases. And Jace Cappellini will come to the plate. He's the 7th Cub to bat here in the bottom half of the second inning. Cappellini walked back in the first, swings the first pitch here and fouls it off. Of course, this game's scheduled for 7 innings or 2 hours. Whichever has reached first. The first game that was actually played here today was called via the time limit after 6 innings. The HARC Mets defeating the Kissel squad from Connellsville 10-4. This game's taken a while to play. The first 2 innings here between the Reds and the Cubs. 7 runs combined between the 2 teams. Reds leading at 4-3, and the bases loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the second inning. Cappellini taking another pitch there. Even though we're still early, this is a big juncture in the game. Cubs an opportunity to blow open a lead, but a hard ground ball here hits a second, and they'll get the little force out on the flip. Becker to Mara to retire Capolini 4-6 for the third out of the inning. So the Cubs pick up just a run, even though they sent 7 men to the plate, and it's the Cubs 4, Reds 3 after 2 here on the South Union Township Sports Network.
At what point did everything change? When did service get taken out of service industries? It's too bad, because people are busy these days. At life, at work, at play. When it comes to your hard-earned money, you want service. Real service. From a person you know and a face you trust. At a bank where changing with the times doesn't mean leaving people behind. We're proud to be a part of your community. We're United Bank. At your service.
4-3, Reds over the Cubs as we move to the top half of the third. Justin Brzezinski, Nick Egnat, and Logan Lonegro due up here for the Reds. And Brzezinski takes the first pitch outside for ball 1, facing Tyler Christopher. And Christopher's 1-0. Check swing. Ruled a strike. And got now 1-1 to Justin Brzezinski. Now the 1-1 hard hit ball just fouled on the third base line.
Leave it.
Got now 1-2. Christopher to Brzezinski. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball missing outside. Count now even at 2-2. Two-two pitch sent foul by Brzezinski. Count remains 2-2. His buddy Mara will track that one down. Two on the way, just off the plate. We'll go full 3-2. And the payoff pitch on the way, and this one a hard ground ball through on the left side between Capolini and Chisler in the left field. Colby Livingston on the plate. And a single to left to lead off this top half of the third inning for Justin Brzezinski and the Reds. Now Nick Egnat will come to the plate. Egnat reaching via an error back in the first inning. First pitch there came very close to clipping Nick. Ruled a ball, hopped away from the catcher Noah Mildren, and down to second is Justin Brzezinski. Now the 1-0 to Egnat. In there for a strike count, even at 1-1, throw down to third, and in there safely is Brzezinski. So the Reds using aggressive base running with a game-tying run now at third, and Justin Brzezinski, and nobody out here in the top half of the third inning. 1-1 pitch on the way, high for ball 2. Now 2-1, Christopher to Egnat. 2-1 pitch, in there for another strike to even the count at 2-2. Now the 2-2, breaking ball fouled off there by Egnat. Count remains 2-2. In the 2-2 pitch, a little check swing, ground ball to second. Takes a funny hop and bounces away from Evan McLay. That scores Justin Brzezinski. So Nick Egnott would have been a tough play there at second for McLay anyways. We'll give him an infield single RBI. Run scored for Brzezinski. We're knotted up at 4. Still nobody out here in the top half of the third, and Logan Lonegro coming to the plate. Lonegro struck out back in the first inning. Swings and misses with the first pitch here from Christopher. Christopher has struck out 3 so far in this game. Both teams have yielded 4 runs. Next pitch to Lonegro. This one chopped to short. Knocking it down and taking it unassisted is the shortstop Jace Capolini, getting the lead runner, Nick Egnott. That's the first out recorded here in the top half of the third. Now Ben Blystone coming to the plate. Runner going. Throw down to second. This will be close, but ruled safe at second is Nick Egnott. Or is Logan Lonegro, excuse me. Lonegro ruled safe at second. And count 2-0 now to Ben Blystone. Good throw, though, from Noah Mildren. And we mentioned he's one of the Reds, or the Cubs pitchers as well. Good gun, almost getting Lonegro there at second. Now Christopher trying to find the strike zone here to Ben Blystone. Finds it there. And the count now moves to 3-1. Tanner Slavic in the on-deck circle. Next pitch, and this one popped up by Blystone into center field. Getting under it, making the grab there is Christian Burchick for the second out of the inning. Now Tanner Slavic will come to the plate. Game knotted up at 4. The Reds with Logan Lonegro on second. 1 run already across in the inning. Justin Brzezinski scoring the game-tying run. Now Tanner Slavic, an opportunity to drive in Lonegro here. And Lonegro on the move, slides into third. So Lonegro, a Slavic hit away from tying this game. Count at 1-1 to Tanner Slavic. One pitch in there for another strike. And count at 1-2. That was actually strike 3. Correction. Strike 3 to Tanner Slavic, and that will end the inning. So the Reds pick up a run here in the top half of the third, and we're knotted up at 4. Heading to the bottom half of the third here on the South Union Township Sports Network. Moving now to the bottom half of the third. Game tied at 4. Reds and Cubs here on the South Union Township Sports Network. Tyler Christopher, Christian Burchick, and Colby Livingston due up for the Cubs. Christopher took ball 1. Now the 1-0 from Scott. This is low and outside. Count now at 2-0. Christopher struck out swinging back in the first inning. Scott's 2-0 to Christopher. Low again, and the count at 3-0. Reds scoring 3 runs in the first, 1 in the third. The Cubs 3 in the first, 1 in the second. Batting here in the third. That's ball 4 to Tyler Christopher. So Christopher drawing a leadoff walk here in the bottom half of the third inning. Now Christian Burchick will come to the plate. Burchick with that 3 RBI double to left field back in the first inning for the Cubs. Now a runner on again and nobody else for Burchick. First pitch missing again for ball 1. One 0 on the way. Now ball 2. 2-0, Scott to Burchick. Now 3-0. So 7 straight balls thrown by Scott to start this bottom half of the third inning. And finally a strike. 3-1 now to Christian Burchick. A lot of those pitches weren't missing by much. Scott's been around the plate. 3-1 pitch. This one popped up in a shallow right. And it will drop in front of Tanner Slavic. A little miscommunication out there between Tyler Becker at second base and Tanner Slavic in right field. Someone needs to take charge. No one took charge there, and that ball from Burchick dropping in for a hit. And now 2 aboard and nobody out for the Cubs. You're in the bottom half of the third, and the Reds defense now has to step up again. Scott has helped his own cause a lot in this game with 4 strikeouts. First pitch to Livingston, missed for ball 1. Cubs threatening again. 1-0 to Livingston. Swing and a miss. Count now even at 1-1. Now the 1-1 to Livingston. Misses low. Count now at 2-1. Christian Burchick on first. Tyler Christopher on second. That pitch misses low. Count now at 3-1. 3-1 on the way. Ruled a strike. Even though Livingston dove away from that one. Was leaning in a little bit there as well. The count now full at 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch chopped back to Scott. Not going for the lead runner, just taking the out at first. I think he would have had Christopher there at third if he would have went that way. Goes in the books 1-3. Livingston retired at first. Runners now at second and third, and Joe Chisler coming to the plate. Chisler an infield single and scored a run back in the second inning. First pitch misses for ball 1. Now Scott's 1-0 here to Chisler. Chisler, ground ball here to second. Becker is there. Throw over to first in time to retire Chisler 4-3. And Chisler, though, driving in a run, picking up an RBI. Tyler Christopher scoring on the play. And the Cubs retaking the lead now at 5-4. I think Beimel now coming to the plate. He takes strike 1. Two outs now in the bottom half of the third. Another pitch missing to Beimel. Now the 1-1. Beimel sends it fouled on the right field line, and the count now sits at 1-2.
1-2.
Scott trying to get out of the inning. 1-2 pitch to Nick Beimel, and Beimel stays alive, fouling it off. Count remaining 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And that'll end the third inning. With the Cubs picking up another run, and after 3, it's the Cubs 5, the Reds 4. HARC Pony League baseball action here on the South Union Township Sports Network.
Colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths. Signs include abdominal pain and rectal bleeding. Colon cancer develops from a degenerating benign growth or polyp. Doctors performing colonoscopy are able to remove precancerous polyps, thus preventing colon cancer. This saves lives, and the American Cancer Society now recommends that everyone have a colonoscopy every 10 years, beginning at age 50. Doctors Ruthart, Calabrese, Stokes, and Ballou offer the latest diagnostic testing. SWGI, specialists in digestive health.
Caden Early, Caleb Scott, and Santino Mara due up for the Reds here in the top half of the fourth inning. Cubs leading the Reds 5-4. A back and forth game. Both teams playing 3 in the first inning. The Cubs adding a run in the bottom half of the second inning. And a run apiece for each team in the third inning. New pitcher here for the Cubs. Try to get an indication for you. Jace Capolini now pitching. Noah Mildred moving to short. And Tyler Christopher now catching. So those are your defensive changes for the Cubs as we start the top half of the fourth inning. And Caden Early, the call-up, will lead things off. He grounded out 3 unassisted to end a first inning that saw the Reds send 9 men to the plate and score 3 runs. Early leaving 3 stranded. Now we'll lead off this top half of the fourth. This game scheduled to go 7 innings or 2 hours, and there's a possibility we might hit the time limit here for the second straight game that we've seen tonight here in Hopwood. The first game between the HARC Mets and the Kissel squad from Connellsville called due to the 2-hour time limit after 6, with the HARC Mets winning that game 10-4. We're a little over an hour already and have just played 3 innings here today as Early fouls off the first pitch, showing bunt, counted 0-1. And Jace Capolini now on the mound. Tyler Christopher catching, and Noah Mildred, who was catching, now playing shortstop. 0-1 here to Early. Plenty of velocity on that pitch, but the pitch missing to even the count at 1-1. Now the 1-1 fouled off there by Early. Count out 1-2. On the 1-2 pitch to Early, high and outside. Count now even at 2-2. Two on the way. Inside, we'll go full 3-2. Give a call up early, a lot of credit hanging in there. It's the hard throw in Capolini. Payoff pitch. Capolini brings the heat and early fouls it off. Caden digging in again. 3-2 pitch. Fastball ruled, strike 3. Early tried to make the run down to first, but tagged out there by Christopher. Caden, a strong at bat. Facing Capolini, but goes down with the strikeout. Now the top of the order and Caleb Scott. Capolini's first pitch here to Scott, in there for a strike, 0-1. Scott was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the first inning, struck out swinging in the second inning. This is his third plate appearance of the game, coming here in the top half of the fourth. Now Scott showing bunt, fouls off that one. And Scott has 2 strikes on him and an 0-2-0. Now Capolini's 0-2 to Caleb Scott. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts for Jace Capolini. Very effective on the hill for the Cubs. Now Santino Mara, who's 2 for 2 already in this game, has scored a run, comes to the plate with 2 outs and the bases empty. Mara digs in. First pitch from Capolini. Mara sends it foul on the right side. Counted 0-1. Mara digs back in the box. Capolini's 0-1 to Mara, and Mara, hard chopper here to short. Mildren there, throw over to first. Dropped by Steve Ross. Throws a little low coming in there from Mildren. Ross couldn't hang on. And Mildren's safe at first. So 3 plate appearances, and Mara's reached safely in all 3. Now Tyler Becker will come to the plate. Becker 1 for 2. Hit into a double play in the second inning. Mara going. First pitch in for a strike. And Mara down to second. Now the 0-1 off the plate. Evens the count at 1-1.
Joe, keep it in front of you.
Mara going again. I'll let him take third. Count out 2-1 to Tyler Becker. Capolini's 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss there from Tyler Becker. Count now even at 2-2. And the 2-2 to Becker, high and outside. We'll go full. And Capolini will need a strike here. Three-two pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Solid pitching from Jace Capolini here in the fourth inning, recording 3 strikeouts. And the score remains the Cubs 5, the Reds 4. Halfway home here on the South Union Township Sports Network.
sit right down and you hear a tale of a fateful call. You better pay those bills right now or you take a mighty fall. He really didn't know what to do, so he turned to those who did. Zeppeli, Mahalev, and White, your bankruptcy crew, your bankruptcy crew. So no matter how deep in debt you are, if your back's against the wall, Zeppeli, Mahalev, and White, just give them a call.
Moving now to the bottom half of the fourth inning, the Cubs batting, leading 5-4 over the Reds. Wyatt Bittinger, Noah Mildren, and Evan McClay due up for the Cubs. Caleb Scott still on the hill for the Reds. The Bittinger set to go. First pitch from Scott, low for ball one. Now the 1-0. In the dirt again, and they count at 2-0. Pitch, low again. Count now at 3-0. Scott to Bittinger. Bittinger going around there. Count out 3-1. There's ball four. Scott, after striking out Bittinger back in the second inning, walks him here in the fourth. The Cubs with a runner on and nobody else, and the top of the order coming up, and Noah Mildren, who's 2 for 2. Mildren, an infield single back in the first inning, single to right field and picked up an RBI in the second inning. This is his third plate appearance of the game. First pitch from Scott to Mildren. High for ball one. A little stoppage here. We're going to see a pitching change. Yes, we are. Pitching change here for the Reds. We'll take a timeout. It's the Cubs 5, the Reds 4, working here in the bottom half of the fourth inning here on the South Union Township Sports Network.
The South Union Township Supervisors, Rick Vernon, Jason Scott, and Robert Schiffbauer, would like to wish all the HARC baseball players good luck and have a fun baseball season this year.
New pitcher for the Reds, Tyler Becker. Becker and Caleb Scott switching positions. Scott, who was pitching. Looks like he'll move over to second base, but maybe not. Caden Early actually moving over to second. Scott's going to go to third. So Early goes to second, Scott goes to third. Mara still in at short. And Noah Mildren's at the plate. It almost seemed like Scott just pretty much said he had enough, or there was possibly a pitch count on him. And he was gassed on the mound, so now Becker comes in facing Mildren and finds the strike zone on his first pitch. And remember, Becker entered after Scott threw ball one to Mildren, so now they count at 1-1. Now Becker's 1-1 high. Count now 2-1. Becker to Mildren. Cubs with Wyatt Bittinger on first. Nobody out as we work here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. 2-1 pitch in there for a strike. Now we're even at 2-2. Becker to Mildren. Now the 2-2 outside. We'll go full 3-2. Now the payoff pitch is high for ball 4. So the Cubs drawing back-to-back walks here to lead off the bottom half of the 4th inning. Bittinger walking off of Scott. And after Scott threw ball 1 to Noah Mildren, Tyler Becker coming on in relief on the mound for the Reds. But Becker walking Mildren. Now Evan McLay at the plate. He'll take strike 1 from Becker. Counted 0-1. The Reds now trying to build a little bit of a cushion. They lead this game 5-4. Threatening again with 2 on and nobody else. And this ball chopped to Caden Early at second. Early knocks it down. Will get the out at first. 4-3. Wide Bittinger advances to third. Noah Mildren advances to second for the Cubs. Now 1 out in the inning with Steve Ross coming to the plate. Ross struck out looking back in the first inning, walked in the second inning. The Cubs first baseman stepping in. Becker's first pitch to Ross, and Ross sends this high in the air to right field towards the line. And it'll drop in past Tanner Slavic. Slavic now on the throw in to Caden Early. The Cubs will score a pair of runs as both Bittinger and Mildren come across. Into second base is Steve Ross with a 2 RBI double to right. And the Cubs lead now at 3 over the Reds at 7-4. Trying to keep it going here with Jace Capolini at the plate. And Ross at second. Still only 1 out here in the inning. First pitch from Becker in for a strike to Capolini, counted 0-1. Now Becker's 0-1 in the dirt. Count even at 1-1. One on the way, and Capolini hits this in between Mara and Scott on the left side. Ball quickly sent in there by Ben Blystone, but not preventing Capolini to get down to second. Ross holding up at third. So now runners on second and third, still 1 out in the inning, 2 runs already across. And the Cubs lead now extended to 7-4 over the Reds, with Tyler Christopher coming to the plate. Becker's first pitch to Christopher, low and outside for ball 1. Christopher struck out swinging back in the first inning, walked and scored a run in the third inning. Christopher is the 6th Cub to bat here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And a well-hit shot here to the right of Ben Blystone will score a pair of runs. Blystone all the way back to the wall. And hanging at second base will be Christopher with a 2 RBI double to left. Ross and Capolini scoring on the play. That's now 4 runs across here in the 4th inning. And the lead at 9-4. Cubs over the Reds. Still only 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, and Christian Burchick coming to the plate. Burchick already 2 for 2, swings at the first pitch here and sends it foul down the third base line. Burchick, a 3 RBI double back in the first inning, singled to right field in the third inning. And he's the 7th Cub to bat here in the bottom half of the 4th. Has a strike on him now after that foul ball. Becker's 0-1 to Burchick. Swing and a miss there. Now 2 strikes on Christian Burchick. Might see some junk here out of Becker, trying to get Burchick to chase. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball ruled. Strike 3. Dropped initially by Brzezinski, but able to regain and tag out Burchick. Goes in the books as a strikeout. And now 2 away here in the bottom half of the 4th. 4 runs already across. Colby Livingston coming to the plate. We'll get a courtesy runner out here. For Tyler Christopher, who's now catching for the Cubs as they try to speed up this game. And the clock on. There's a 2-hour time limit here in the HARC Pony League. Livingston at the plate. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Not officially. We're at about an hour and 20 to 25 minutes so far working here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. That pitch missing. We have 13 combined runs already. Just certainly slowed down the pace of play. Livingston again looking for his first hit of this game. 0 for 2 so far. Struck out back in the first inning. Grounded out 1-3 in the third. That pitch high. Hops away from Brzezinski. Down to third is the courtesy runner for Christopher. Count out 2-1. Becker to Livingston. The 2-1 pitch on the way. High again. Count out 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. Rolled low and off the plate for ball 4. So Livingston walks. Now runners on the corners for Joey Chisler. Chisler, an infield single, scored a run in the second inning. Picked up an RBI in the third inning. It was retired at first. A 4-3 fielder's choice. He's the 9th Cub to bat here in this bottom half of the 4th inning. Coming to the plate with 2 outs and runners on first and third. First pitch in there for a strike. Now, if you're the Cubs, how aggressive do you get with Livingston down at first? You possibly send him to second. I wouldn't think you'd see Brzezinski throw down that way. With the courtesy runner for Christopher down at third. 0-1. Chisler fouls it back.
Protect the plate, Joe.
Count now 0-2. Becker to Chisler. And the 0-2 pitch misses. And they're going to go with a double steal, and it works out. Christopher's courtesy runner scoring on the play. And getting down to second is Livingston. That's now 5 runs across in the inning for the Cubs. And the lead up to 10-4. And you count 1-2 now to Joey Chisler. With Livingston on second, and Chisler stays alive, protecting the plate, chopping and foul.
1-2. Right over second, Joe. Right.
1-2 inside. Count now at 2-2. There's your strike three. Swing and a miss from Chisler, but a very successful inning for the Cubs. They score 5 runs, sending 9 men to the plate. And with a 5 spot here in the 4th, the Cubs now with a 10-4 lead over the Reds as we head to the top half of the 5th here on the South Union Township Sports Network. Justin Brzezinski, Nick Egnott, and Logan Lonegro due up for the Reds here in the top half of the 5th inning, and boy, do they need some runs. After the Reds yielded 5 runs to the Cubs in the bottom half of the 4th. The Cubs now lead by 6 at 10-4. First pitch swinging there is Justin Brzezinski, and he's ruled safe at first. So what appeared to be a routine play, ground ball to second. Brzezinski ruled safe at first, and the Reds off to a good start here in the top half of the 5th with Nick Egnott coming to the plate. A tough one to see there if you're Jace Cappellini. You get the routine ground ball, and you don't get the out recorded defensively. Now Nick Egnott will try to keep things going here for the Reds. Cappellini's first pitch to Egnott, runner going, throw down to second. This will be close. Ruled just safe at second. And wow, that was close. Could have went either way there. Brzezinski, aggressive base running. Steals second. Now Nick Egnott, an opportunity to drive him in. That pitch hopping away. And there goes Brzezinski down to third. Little check swing, one hopper to Mildren at short. Throw over to first in time to retire Egnott 6-3, but give Egnott an RBI. Driving in Brzezinski, Reds pick up a run back and get back to within 10-5 of the Cubs. Now Logan Lonegro at the plate. First pitch to Lonegro, inside for ball one. Swing and a miss there from Logan. Count at 1-1. But with time certainly an issue in this game. If I'm Reds hitters, I'm telling them, hey, swing at some early pitches, trying to extend this game out, make it move along and give yourself some more outs to have an opportunity maybe to rally back. But you have the game called after 5 or 6. Obviously it limits their opportunities and time they have to come back. Count though now 1-2 to Lonegro, and a big fastball there, ruled strike 3. They'll tag out Lonegro officially there out in front for the second out of the inning. Now 2 away with Ben Blystone coming to the plate. Blystone hit by a pitch back in the first inning. Flew out to Christian Burchick in the third inning. First pitch here from Capolini. Swing and a miss, strike one. In the bottom half of the fifth, the Cubs will have Nick Beimel, Wyatt Bittinger, and then the top of the order, Noah Mildren due up. And the Cubs set 9 men to the plate, scoring 5 runs in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Next pitch to Blystone. Ruled a strike. Blystone maybe crowding the plate a little bit there, pulled back. But the pitch ruled a strike. Now Blystone will have to protect the plate. Next delivery from Capolini. Fastball just missing. Count out 1-2. One, two on the way. Swing and a miss, strike three. The Reds pick up a run back, but still trail it 10-5 as we head to the bottom half of the fifth here on the South Union Township Sports Network.
At what point did everything change? When did service get taken out of service industries? It's too bad, because people are busy these days. At life, at work, at play. When it comes to your hard-earned money, you want service. Real service. From a person you know and a face you trust. At a bank where changing with the times doesn't mean leaving people behind. We're proud to be a part of your community. We're United Bank. At your service.
The Cubs a 10-5 lead over the Reds. HARC Pony League Baseball here at the Mulholland Field. Nick Beimel, Wyatt Bittinger, and Noah Mildren due up for the Cubs here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. First pitch swinging, sending it foul there as Beimel counted 0-1. We're certainly seeing the team's very aware of the clock factor in this game, trying to move things along here. Next pitch high and inside there to Beimel, especially again from the Reds side, who are down 10-5 in this game. And make sure they have 6 outs left. Based on our calculations, about 25 minutes of game time left before this game would be called due to the time limit. You want to make sure you're through that 6th inning. When the 7th inning starts, it will be finished. If we get to 2 hours while the 6th inning's still going on, that's it. Count out 2-2 to Nick Beimel. Becker continuing to work quickly. 2-2 pitch on the way to Beimel, and Beimel line drive, glove down by the first baseman, needs some help. Flip over to first. Nice cover from Tyler Becker. To give Egnott and Becker a lot of credit there. Egnott on the glove down and Becker on the cover to finish. And one away here in the bottom half of the fifth. Nice team effort there. A lot of hustle out of the Reds. Gotta love it. Now Wyatt Bittinger at the plate. First pitch to Bittinger. Misses for ball one. Bittinger struck out swinging back in the second inning. Walked and scored a run in the fourth inning. Actually got things going for the Cubs in that fourth inning, which saw them score 5 runs. He was the leadoff hitter. Swings and misses here. Down out 1-1. One pitch on the way, high and inside. Count now sits at 2-1. Now the 2-1. High and inside. Count now moves to 3-1. Becker needs a strike. 3-1 pitch. He gets one there. We're full of 3-2. Bittinger digs in. Becker set with a 3-2. And that's ruled strike 3. Bittinger thought he had a walk. Now 2 away. In the bottom half of the 5th, top of the order now up. Noah Mildren will come to the plate for the 4th time in this game. He's reached base safely in all of his previous 3 plate appearances. Infield single in the 1st, single to right field, and picked up an RBI in the 2nd inning, walked and scored a run in the 4th inning. First pitch here, Becker to Mildren, high for ball 1. The Cubs looking to improve to 11-2 on the season. The Reds entered play today 11-1. Mildren fouling that one off. Now time called. Strategy being discussed. Count at 1-1. Becker's 1-1 pitch to Mildren. And there for strike 2. Reds looking for a 1-2-3 inning. 1-2 pitch. This ball lined over the head of Becker, played by Mara. Throw over to first in time to Egnott to retire. Mildren 6-3 to end the inning. That's the first 1-2-3 inning. And we have saw the Cubs record defensively in this game. And we'll head to the top half of the 6th with a score remaining. The Cubs 10 and the Reds 5 here on the South Union Township Sports Network.
Southwestern Endoscopy Center is a state-licensed and Medicare-certified facility and emphasizes privacy, comfort, caring, and safety. For colonoscopies and upper GI endoscopies, painless procedures are done with twilight sedation given by a board-certified anesthesiologist. The center accepts most insurance plans and is staffed by Doctors Ruthhart, Calabrese, Stokes, and Ballou. SWGI, specialists in digestive health.
Heading now to the top half of the 6th inning, the Reds down 10-5. And the Reds defense certainly getting it done with a 1-2-3 inning, retiring the Cubs in the bottom half of the 5th inning. As I said, the first 1-2-3 inning the Reds have had defensively so far in this game. Now they have to get their bats going. Tanner Slavic leading off this top half of the 6th inning, taking strike 1. Slavic struck out twice already in this game. Jace Capellini has been very effective since he's come on in relief of Tyler Christopher for the Cubs. 0-1 pitch here. Inside to even the count at 1-1 to Slavic. It's Slavic, Early, and Scott. 2 up for the Reds here in the top half of the 6th. 1-1 on the way, in there for strike 2. Now 1-2, Capellini to Slavic. One, 2 on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Capellini now, 3 straight strikeouts, sent down Lonegro and Blystone to end the top half of the 5th. Now strikes out Slavic here in the top half of the 6th. And Caden Early will come to the plate. Early 0 for 2, the call-up. He's had some very good at-bats, though, for the Reds. Coming up here with 1 out and the base is empty. Takes ball 1, low and outside from Jace Capellini. Now Capellini's 1-0 to Early. And that ruled a strike. The count now even at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Just tipped foul there by Early. Count out 1-2. Early back in the box. Capolini's 1-2. Early again stays alive, chopping and foul. Early doing a good job on his call-up role, hanging in there for the Reds. One, two on the way. Early pops this one high in the air on the left side in foul territory and able to make the grab is Joey Chisler. So Early get another opportunity here at the plate. Another opportunity here for Early. 1-2 from Capolini. And there for strike three. Another big pitch from Jace Capolini. He's now recorded 4 straight strikeouts. Sending down Lonegro and Blystone in the 5th. Now starting the 6th by downing Slavic and Early. And now Caleb Scott coming to the plate. He struck out twice in this game. Was also hit by a pitch and scored a run. Back in the 1st inning, coming to the plate here with the bases empty and 2 outs. First pitch, Capolini to Scott. And Scott first pitch swinging, ground ball here to short. Mildren there, throw over to first in time to Stevie Ross to retire Scott 6-3 to end the inning. And that's another 1-2-3 inning. Here in the top half of the 6th inning, the score remains 10-5. The Cubs over the Reds as we move to the bottom half of the 6th here on the South Union Township Sports Network. Heading now to the bottom half of the 6th, Evan McClay, Stevie Ross, and Jace Capolini do up for the Cubs. With a 10-5 lead over the Reds, Tyler Becker still on the hill for the Reds. Becker's first pitch here to McClay. McClay a chopper to short. Nice glove down from Mara. Hard throw, but not gloved down in time by Egnott over at first. The ruling is Egnott did not have the ball over at first. Good effort from Mara. But McClay ruled safe at first. Now Stevie Ross coming to the plate. Ross struck out back in the 1st inning, walked in the 2nd, picked up a 2 RBI double and scored a run in the 4th. First pitch swinging here sends it right up the middle into center field. And a single to center for Stevie Ross gives the Cubs runners on 1st and 2nd with nobody else here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Now Jace Capolini coming to the plate. Capolini walked back in the 1st inning, grounded into a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning, and singled to left field and scored a run in the 4th inning. Capolini takes ball 1 here. Tyler Becker coming on in relief of Caleb Scott. Back in the 4th inning. This is on a pitch there to Cappellini. Count out 2-0. Wonder how much Becker has left in the tank now. 2-0 to Cappellini, who ropes it into center field. Two-hopper back to Logan Lonegro. Scores a run. Evan McLay scoring on the play. RBI single to center for Jace Cappellini. And 3 straight hits for the Cubs to start this bottom half of the 6th inning. Now Tyler Christopher coming to the plate. The lead now up to 11-5. Cubs over the Reds. Still nobody out. Becker still showing he has the heat, but couldn't find the strike zone on that first pitch to Christopher. Count at 1-0. Next pitch, Christopher. A big cut at that one. Swing and a miss. Count even at 1-1. Now the 1-1. Christopher nubs this one foul on the left side. Count out 1-2. Brian Maruzak alongside Jerry Dupé. And we thank you for joining us here on the South Union Township Sports Network. HARC Pony League Baseball. Cubs an 11-5 lead over the Reds. Pitch missing there to Christopher. Count out 2-2. Two on the way. Off the plate, and we're full at 3-2. Becker needs a strike. 3-2 pitch. And Christopher, a well-hit ball right up the gap, knocked down by Mara. Able to maybe limit the damage a little bit, but a run does come across and score. And Steve Ross scoring the 2nd run of the inning and the 12th run of the game. Christopher made his way down to second as they try to nail the throw down to third to retire Cappellini. Goes in the books as an RBI single for Tyler Christopher. That might be it on the mound for Tyler Becker. We'll see a pitching change. Santino Mara will come in here for the Reds. We'll take a quick timeout. 12-5. Cubs over the Reds. We're back in a moment here on the South Union Township Sports Network. Santino Mara, the new pitcher for the Reds. It's 12-5 Cubs. Still nobody out as we work here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Christian Burchick at the plate. He's 2 for 3 in this game. Runners on second and third. First pitch from Mara. Swing and a miss there from Burchick. Count at 0-1. Swing and a miss again from Burchick. So Mara comes into the game with 2 solid pitches, has Burchick in an 0-2 hole. Reds finding themselves down 12-5, and time also a factor in this game. Reds pretty much have to get out of this inning in the next 6 to 7 minutes if they want to see their final 3 outs in the top half of the 7th inning. And this ball hit high in the air by Burchick into center field, and unable to make the catch there is Lonegro. Now score another run here for the Cubs. Cappellini will score. Goes into the books as an E8. And the lead now up to 13-5. Cubs up 8. And Colby Livingston coming to the plate. Runners now on first and third, still nobody out. And Livingston is the 6th Cub to bat here in this inning. Pitch in there for a strike. And Burchick speedies his way into second base. Burchick manages to score. Would also end the game with a 10-run mercy rule as well in this game. Swing and a miss there from Livingston. Now he has 2 strikes on him. Swing and a miss, and Livingston goes down. First out of the inning. You have 3 already across here for the Cubs. And the lead at 13-5. Joey Chisler coming to the plate. Chisler, an infield single, scored a run in the second inning, picked up an RBI in the third and struck out in the fourth. Fouls off the first pitch here. Counted 0-1. The Reds with 3 runs in the first, 1 in the third, and 1 in the fifth for their 5. The Cubs 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 5 in the fourth, and 3 already here in the 6th for their 13 in this game. Next pitch to Chisler. It's high. Count now 1-1. Santino Mara, the 3rd pitcher the Reds have used in this game. Next pitch in there for strike 2 to Joey Chisler. Count now 1-2. Caleb Scott got the start on the hill for the Reds. And Tyler Becker came in relief. And Chisler chasing that one a little bit. And Chisler ruled out, was out of the base path. And on 2 outs here in the inning. Goes in the books as a strikeout. And Nick Beimel will come to the plate. And put a courtesy runner in here for the catcher. And Beimel takes ball 1 inside from Santino Mara. And there's ball 2. 2-0. Swing and a miss there. Count now 2-1. Mara to Beimel. Now the 2-1. Low. And now 3-1. Beimel, the 8th Cub to bat here in this inning. There's ball 4 to load up the bases. And Wyatt Bittinger will come to the plate for the 4th time in this game. He struck out twice, also walked and scored a run. 13-5, the Cubs leading here in the bottom half of the 6th. Mara's first pitch to Bittinger. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That one hopping away from Catcher Justin Brzezinski. Count out 1-1. Mara's 1-1 pitch, high and inside, now 2-1 to Wyatt Bittinger. Of course, nowhere to put Bittinger with the bases loaded. You're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And Bittinger, a little nubber, just going foul down the first baseline. It's going to be very questionable time-wise. We'll even see the top half of the 7th inning. Pretty close to the 2-hour time limit right now. Inning not officially over yet. Count 2-2. Mara to Bittinger. And that pitch low. Count now full at 3-2. When the Reds finding themselves down 8, it will take a mini miracle, even if they have those 3 outs to work with, to find themselves back into this game. Especially with the way Jace Cappellini's been pitching on the mound. Now the payoff pitch, runners on the way, and the pitch is high and inside for ball 4 as Mara walks in another run. And that's going to be it. Going to be a 9-run lead. If the mercy rule would be 10. A 14-5 with that run being walked in. Are they going to call it? They will call it, and that will be it. So the Cubs pick up 4 runs here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. They'll win it 14-5. Cubs improve to 11-2 on the season. Reds drop to 11-2. And the Reds with some big innings here tonight, including 5 in the 4th, 4 in the 6th, to win by 9, 14-5. Tonight's game was brought to you as a joint cooperative venture featuring Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott, Atlantic Broadband, Armstrong Cable, and our friends at CUTV, including Gary Smith. I'm Brian Morozak with Jerry Dupay. Again, your final score, the Cubs 14 and the Reds 5. This has been a South Union Township Sports Network presentation.